Detailing in a drought. I'm Ivan. This is Nick. Wait,
It's the other way around. But I'm Ivan.
let's start over.
We don't want to sound... One of the things that came up in the news today is this guy lives in Salt Lake City, or close to Salt Lake City, and the Great Salt Lake has lost 2/3 of its water. Not just a little bit, 2/3.
We're in a historic drought. It's at the lowest level it's ever been. The West is in a drought. California has super strict runoff restrictions, right?
yeah.
I mean, what you tell me, but what we're trying to get to people is, how do you do car detailing? How do you clean your own car when water is becoming a bigger deal every day?
Right. And, there are places in the world where it's actually illegal to wash your own car outside. Russia being one of them, and Russia's not popular these days, but I've taught classes there, and detailing is a big deal because you're not allowed to wash your own car. There are some European countries, same deal, as well as, this summer, Europe went through heat waves that they'd never seen before.
I saw something like average of 70 degrees there this time of year, and they hit triple digits, and it's just like
They've never
crazy
seen
wildfires. I mean, it's the stuff that you see in the American West,
right?
Not Europe.
So how can we, as car owners, make detailing still fun and enjoyable, have a clean car, but not use so much water?
I'd like to smile now. Set the tone again.
Yeah.
It's easy to get down. I mean, we want detailing to be fun. It's just, how do we navigate this?
Yeah. And, it's actually relatively easy to navigate. There's been products out there for decades. There's waterless washers, rinseless washers. They're all available to us. They work. They don't need to be relegated to a second fiddle position. In fact, in my shops, we didn't have a soap. Literally, we didn't use soap in my shops. And we detailed, per shop, 20, 30, 40, 50 cars a day. There was no soap to be seen. It was all rinseless washing. So rinseless washing has been around for over 20 years. It works, it's possible, and no, it's not dangerous for your paint. It's actually safer.
There's so many ways to wash a car. Like, we used to put all-purpose cleaner in a foam cannon,
right,
and just try to avoid the windows, because if you let the foam sit on the windows and it's all-purpose cleaner and you're in sunlight, it's just a little dangerous. We would use wash soap to foam cannon the car. But then after we'd rinse that off, when I went for my actual contact wash, I would always have rinseless wash in the bucket, because that, to me, it's not like, oh, I'm trying to save the environment, or oh, I want to be a rinseless washer, and like, it's the easiest way to wash a car.
Yeah.
And I preferred it over soap.
Right. And literally, it takes a gallon of water to wash a car. So that's not bad. You use more water in your shower than you do washing your car.
We're talking about rinseless washing again.
Yeah, for rinseless washing.
And a quick rundown of what that is.
So rinseless washing is not a waterless wash. So there's a big difference there. A lot of people confuse the two. And, the waterless wash was actually on the market before the rinseless wash. So we've had waterless washes. Well, actually, Henry Ford used to use kerosene on Model Ts as his waterless wash. So it's been around for a long time. Now,
kerosene?
Yeah, wouldn't necessarily use kerosene today. But it's another environmental problem all on its own. That being said,
oh my gosh,
we have a lot of things that are here to help us today. And, waterless wash, there are some waterless washes that have fillers in them that, not necessarily, from a detailer's perspective, not great. From you, a car owner's perspective, you're just wanting to clean your car, you want to make it look better, they work great. Now, they may scratch the paint, but some of them have kaolin clay in them that when it scratches, it fills it back in. So you're good.
You're talking about a waterless wash?
Yeah,
where you're
that's a waterless wash.
Yeah, so a rinseless wash, so far as I understand it, you pre-treat a panel, ideally.
Yeah.
It starts to encapsulate the dirt, lift it up from the paint. The polymers then have the dirt inside of a bubble.
Yeah.
And, there's a siren outside because, the fire department is very excited about this very urgent information that I'm providing. Not sure if you guys could hear that. But basically, you sort of lift it, you pre-treat it.
Right.
And then you use your rinseless wash soaked sponge or rag in your bucket. It's also diluted. And then you wash the car. Now, what is a waterless wash? Because it feels a little bit less safe to me.
Yeah, so a waterless wash, if your car just has dust on it, great product. And basically what you're doing is literally spray and wipe. So you spray it on the surface, you let it do its thing for a few seconds, and then using a microfiber towel, you wipe it off. Now, there are techniques that can make a waterless wash safe. And those techniques are proper use of the towel and actually rolling the towel. So it's not just putting the towel flat and then dragging it across the surface. What you're doing is putting it and then rolling it as you're lifting it up. So you're lifting the dirt away from the surface, and you're always presenting a new part of the towel as you're going along.
Right. And then once you've done that half, can you flip it and then do this half and then
Yeah,
go
exactly.
to it's an art, but once you figure it out,
it's actually not hard to do.
Yeah.
I used to do it a lot for car shows, taking care of cars at car shows and at dealerships in the showroom. Great way of doing it. Now, a rinseless wash, as Nick mentioned, we'll pre-treat and we'll use a wash sponge. So we're using a little more moisture here. We're using a little more water, and then we'll dry it off using a towel. So it actually sounds like it's a more involved process, but it actually takes less time to do a rinseless than a waterless because of the towel folding and the movements and all that.
Because I like to ask Ivan questions about detailing, assuming that he's an expert on everything.
No.
When you do a rinseless, you might pre-treat the panel. You might grab your dripping sponge and get. I mean, in California, am I allowed to drip anything on the ground? Like, how strict is it there?
Every municipality is different.
Okay.
So it's not a state thing; it's a municipal thing because water is under municipal control in most areas of the world.
See, I knew you'd have an intelligent answer for that.
Yeah, I may be completely wrong.
If you guys are in California or any other city where water restrictions have evolved or are pretty strict, let us know. You probably already know about rinseless washing, but again, I use it by choice.
Yeah.
And now in Utah, I think it's going to become more and more important to use it by necessity, especially in urban areas where they're cracking down.
So I spent a lot of my time in Quebec, and that's where I'm from, and we're surrounded by fresh water. Quebec has more fresh water than anywhere else in the world. We have a lot of it. Meanwhile, my town, there's watering restrictions. We're not allowed to water our grass. You can only wash your car if your house number is an odd number. You're allowed to wash it on odd days. If you have an even number house, you're allowed to wash it on even days. And at some points in the year, no washing whatsoever. And they even shut the car washes down. So, meaning that everyone drives around with a dirty car. And
that's sad.
Yeah. Well, no, unless you do it with a waterless or a rinseless.
Oh.
You're not allowed to use your hose, but you can bring a bucket out to wash your car. And that's where the rinseless comes in.
And if you're a rinseless guy like I am, that's music to your ears.
Yeah.
I mean, I did a video, link it up above. I just did it outside of an apartment. And it was my apartment. Real talk. I can admit that. You live in a bus.
I live in a bus.
I live in an apartment. One day maybe I'll live somewhere else.
Yeah.
The journey continues.
Exactly. You're still young.
So. Not as young as I used to be, but what are you going to do? Hey, so we talked about rinseless.
Yeah.
Great option. Waterless, we're talking about, we're going to detail a plane here shortly tomorrow. Yeah. And you were talking about how waterless is a great way to wash a plane. Now, most people out there don't have a plane.
No.
But listen, Ivan, say intelligent things.
Yeah. I don't know about the intelligent thing, but I'm saying things. So, nonetheless, aircraft. You actually don't want a lot of water around aircraft. You know, there's rivets there. If you have a soap that's caustic, the rivets and the FAA really don't appreciate that. There's a lot of sensitive, portholes and things like that on the plane that make it so that you don't want to be out there spraying with a pressure washer. You don't want to be out there spraying with a hose. So a waterless wash, in the case of a plane, is actually it's probably the best option of them all. The rinseless wash is great on a plane, but I prefer a waterless wash on something like a plane.
Just trying to get a little light action here. This is a little DIY light studio here in the DIY hotel. Okay, so you're in a drought.
Yeah.
You've got rinseless, you've got waterless. Now, one hack that I like is using distilled water because you're eliminating, in a greater sense, chances of water spots.
Correct, yeah.
Yeah.
But a good rinseless actually is a water softener at the same time. Therefore, you really don't need the distilled water. But
simple rabbit hole.
Yeah, I know.
I'm the rabbit hole guy.
Yeah.
Okay. So we've established that. What else can I think about in a drought?
Well, we can wash wheels and tires without any water whatsoever. Just using all clean and a microfiber towel. It's very easy. And then we put on our tire dressing, of course, because, tire dressing makes a car look so much better.
It really does. Even a dirty car looks better with some tire shine. Let me know if you agree. It can take, like, hey, I haven't washed my car in a week. It can take that tired looking paint, and just with a little pop to the tires,
Yeah.
it can change the game. So it's a very like low time, high impact, efficient way to like improve very quickly the look of your vehicle.
Now, another thing you can do to reduce your water consumption, to reduce all of that, is actually put a ceramic coating on your car. Because by putting a ceramic coating on, you won't need to wash it as often. And you won't feel the need to wash it as often.
I agree.
Yeah. Surprised you on that one, didn't I?
I'm just sitting here, I'm taking it all in. Another wise piece of...
I can see your face going, didn't think of that one. But anyways.
Well, I'm also in a hotel room, and it's been a long day of shooting detail content with Mr. LaCroix here.
Yeah.
Okay, get a ceramic coating, rinseless, waterless.
Yeah, and don't drive through the mud. And if you're in a drought situation, there's probably no mud anyways.
Oh my gosh, what tips do you guys have? If you're detailing outside your own car, I really think it's a great idea to wash out in direct sunlight, so if you can do the morning or the evening.
Yes, definitely.
But just have fun. Just have fun with it.
You know, even though we're in, some people will say dire straits, and great band, but we're not in dire straits.
Money for nothing and chicks for free. Yeah. I like Dire Straits, but I listen to it now and I'm like, there's some interesting lyrics in that song. But anyway.
Yeah, anyways, and they had more than that song. But anyways, nonetheless, what we're saying is you can still wash your car, you can still have fun doing it, but you can respect the environment at the same time.
Absolutely. It doesn't have to be this like, if there were an environmentalist and you were to have this conversation with them, maybe you could leave on common ground instead of them coming at you and saying, hey, you're ruining the environment. Like, actually, no.
No.
Look at what we have to offer. 1 or 2 gallons of water.
Yep.
A couple ounces of rinseless wash.
Yep.
Minimal dripping anywhere. We're not getting stuff into the drains, and it's just, I think it's the future.
Yeah.
As we look at these sort of climate trends, the Great Salt Lake at historic lows, Western drought, water restrictions.
Europe, all of that.
Yeah, and the technology is going to keep getting better.
Yeah, the technology is already here. Like I said, wireless washing has been around since Henry Ford, but the wireless washing that we know today has been around since the 80s, and the rinseless wash has been around since the early 2000s. So it's not new technology. It's proven. Many professional detailers use both on a regular basis, on a daily basis. So don't be afraid to wash your car with a rinseless or a waterless.
One last hack I would say, the rinseless wash has polymers in it,
right?
So it's going to add lubrication as you're drying. But ceramic gloss, our drying aid,
yes,
I think is a great way to, I don't have a pressure washer, right? I didn't spend 5 minutes just rinsing this panel free of every possible thing, blasting off everything. So if I'm worried about something being left on the panel after the wash, that if my towel hits it, it would scratch, the ceramic gloss, after a good rinseless wash process, is going to add a little bit more lubrication in that drying process. So it's just going to give you more peace of mind.
That, and it's going to keep your car cleaner longer. Therefore, you won't feel the need to wash it as often.
The wise man with the beard, the glasses, and the 40 years experience to back it up.
There you go. Now, we like having your questions. Please, down below here, just underneath, you can ask us a question, and we'll gladly answer it.
Do you hear this broadcasting voice? He just into the camera. And I want you to listen to me, folks. Hey, seriously though, Nick at DIYdetail.com. Comment below. If you could give us a little bit of love, subscribe to the channel. We're working on giveaways.
Yeah.
We're working on education, and we are just getting started. We love this stuff, and we love it because we get to talk to you, and it sort of keeps all the energy going of, we get a community here.
Exactly.
And you do trainings, you've been in the business forever. It's about people connecting over something that is truly something that we love.
And we're passionate about it. We like clean cars. We love detailing. And whether it be a car, a plane, a train, a boat, a bus, whatever, just make it clean. Make it your own and have fun with it.
Where are you watching from? And what's the first car you ever detailed? Did you fall in love with detailing? Are you just starting now? Holler at us and we will respond to every comment.
So what's the first car you detailed?
I detailed my Subaru Legacy. I moved 45 minutes away from Salt Lake for a job in TV news and a former news anchor and reporter, which is probably where the talking hands come from. But basically, I moved far away.
Right.
And I needed to invest in a car, couple of young kids. I wasn't going to go buy an Audi, right? Yeah. I got a Subaru Legacy. Great gas mileage, safe on the snowy canyons in Utah.
Yeah.
And here I am how do I wash this thing, right? I'm a rabbit hole guy. OCD, I like to do things well. When I find something, I get into it. And I started watching all these YouTube videos.
Yeah.
And the people teaching me how to clean cars were mobile detailers. So I started with one brand that's pretty well known, and then another, and then the rabbit hole is long and deep, and I don't even know where the sun is anymore. But but I'm sort of clawing my way back up to try to translate some of this crazy journey to the old me, to you out there. And so I just fell in love with it, Ivan.
Yeah.
And my family was like, who are you? I didn't even know you liked cars, but I was like obsessed.
Yeah.
Once I saw what tire shine, which I could apply from home, once I saw the difference that could make, I was like, this is like when I got it from the dealer. There's like my car tires are shiny. And then it was game over.
Right. So, and for me, well, the first car I professionally detailed. So helped my parents wash, the family cars for years. But my first professional detail, the one I got paid for, was a 1981 Volkswagen.
Ooh.
Yeah.
How much did you make for it?
At the time, it was $18.
What color?
It was beige.
Wow.
Yeah.
I still remember the first car I got paid professionally to detail.
Yeah.
I had met a woman in the community, and she'd had something happen to her vehicle, and so I was talking to her, and she'd had like a ring stolen out of it, and the windows were smashed.
Oh. Yeah.
And it was kind of a story. It was, her grandmother's ring, and I was chatting with her, I saw her thing on Facebook, and she made a joke like, well, hey, I was like, it's kind of messy in there. I just kind of joked with her. She's like, you can clean it for me. I said, I'd be happy to. I'm thinking about starting a professional detail company.
Yeah.
And she said, how much do you charge? I'm like, $100.
Yeah.
And I was out there for 8 hours for $100, and but I'll never forget it.
Exactly.
She was the OG, the first customer. So anyway, I'm sure you guys all have your own stories about the first car you cleaned. Hopefully you clean a car with DIY detail products, especially incredible suds and ceramic gloss, man.
Yeah.
Just the foam kit. Wait, are we talking about Drought detailing?
Yes.
Okay, I'm sorry. Go back to the Rinseless. I got a little lost in
the Rinseless, Waterless wash, and ceramic gloss will make Drought detailing fun and enjoyable for you. So with that, if you have any questions, comments, thoughts, or ideas, leave them below. We're always happy to answer, and we're here to help.